Watch The Journey, Indian parliamentarians in conversation with China NC.
Hello and welcome. We are back with our spotlight on G20. It's a news-packed show today with Civil 20 India Inception Conference getting underway in Nagpur. Civil 20 is an official engagement group of G20 that helps to incorporate social issues. Delegates were of the view that Civil 20 needs to be more ambitious and needs to give concrete recommendations that are both technically and politically feasible. We will give you a sense of what more was said by the delegates. Also on the show today, Labour 20 Inception meeting concluded in Amritsar. A G20 Young Ambassador Summit was organized in Coimbatore, and Udaipur is all set to host the second Sustainable Finance Working Group meeting of G20 to help developing nations get the finance that they need to meet the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. All that and more on India G20. I'm Munmun Bhattacharya. First up, the top stories. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets the Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida in New Delhi. Leaders discuss their priorities for their respective presidencies of G7 and G20. PM Modi tells PM Kishida giving voice to the priorities of Global South is an important pillar of India's G20 presidency. PM Kishida invites PM Modi to G7 Leaders Summit in Hiroshima in May. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandviya addresses global conference on digital health on the theme taking universal health coverage to the last citizen. Says since digital solutions can revolutionize healthcare delivery systems, India aims to launch a global initiative on digital health to converge global efforts for digital health and scale up digital solutions with the help of cutting-edge technologies. Three-day Civil 20 Inception Conference gets underway in Nagpur city of Maharashtra. 250 delegates from 29 countries attend the conference that brings together representatives from civil society and academia working on sustainable development issues. The first plenary session held on the theme Balancing Development with Environment. Two-day Labour 20 Inception meeting concludes in Amritsar. Discussions take place on key sustainable livelihood and employment subjects such as universalization of social security, international migration of labour, skill training and skill upgradation under India's G20 presidency. Udaipur, the city of lakes, gears up for the second G20 Sustainable Finance Working Group meeting from 21st to 23rd of March. Meeting aims to mobilize sustainable finance for global growth and stability and for promoting transition towards a greener society. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida held talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Hyderabad House in New Delhi today, and both sides discussed bilateral and regional issues of mutual interest. They discussed the priorities for the respective presidencies of the G7 and G20 as well. Prime Ministers Modi and Kishida met 3 times in 2022, including at late Shinzo Abe's funeral, and will meet at least 3 more times in 2023 on the sidelines of the G20, G7 and Quad summits. PM Modi acknowledged Japan's invitation to him for the G7 summit in Hiroshima city of Japan in May this year. The coming months will allow the two leaders to meet again on the sidelines of various international events. The Japanese PM spoke on how India, Japan and ASEAN countries can work together for bringing peace and prosperity to the international community amid current challenges and to achieve the vision of a free and open Indo-Pacific based on rule of law.
आज की हमारी मुलाकात एक और कारण से भी विशेष है। इस साल भारत G20 की अध्यक्षता कर रहा है और जापान G7 की, और इसलिए अपनी अपनी प्राथमिकताओं और हितों पर साथ मिलकर काम करने का यह उत्तम अवसर है। आज मैंने प्रधानमंत्री किशिदा को भारत की G20 अध्यक्षता की प्राथमिकताओं के बारे में विस्तार से बताया। हमारी G20 अध्यक्षता का एक महत्वपूर्ण स्तंभ ग्लोबल साउथ की प्राथमिकताओं को आवाज देना है। वसुधैव कुटुंबकम को मानने वाली संस्कृति सभी को साथ लेकर चलने में विश्वास रखती है। आज प्रधानमंत्री किशिदा ने मुझे मई महीने में हिरोशिमा से मैं होने वाली G7 लीडर समिट के लिए निमंत्रण दिया। इसके कुछ महीनों बाद सितंबर में G20 लीडर समिट के लिए मुझे प्रधानमंत्री किशिदा का फिर से भारत में स्वागत करने का अवसर मिलेगा।
This year, as Japan hosts the G7 presidency and India hosts the G20 presidency, my hope is that through working together with ASEAN and other many countries, we will bring about peace and prosperity to the international community which faces a time of challenges. The vision for achieving this is FOIP, a free and open Indo-Pacific based on the rule of law.
The first plenary session of Civil 20 India 2023 Inception Conference was held in Nagpur today on the theme Balancing Development with Environment. The session covered several working groups of Civil 20 India such as Integrated Holistic Health, Mind, Body and Environment, Sustainable and Resilient Communities, Climate, Environment and Net Zero Targets, Lifestyle for Environment or Life and Revival of Rivers and Water Management. Satyanand Mishra, former Chief Information Commissioner, chaired the plenary session and said that a common theme that runs across all the subjects of the working groups was that human beings were interdependent on their surroundings and nature. The invited speakers were Dr. Andy Carmone, Director of Clinton Health Access Initiatives, Dr. Merle de Crook, who is the Professor with Environmental Tech in TU Delft. There was Jadav Payang, he's an environmentalist, and Indra Khurana, Commissioner with the Communication in World Commission on Drought and Flood. So international delegates had gathered for the Civil 20 plenary session. Addressing the inaugural ceremony of Civil 20 India, its chair Mata Amritanand Mai alluded to the extraordinary challenges being faced by humanity currently. She said there are numerous challenges on subtler levels as well, which we may be unable to perceive or understand. She called for wisdom to recognize the problem and the mental attitude and intelligence to correct it. She said the urgent need of the hour is good leaders with a holistic vision, not those who speak the language of war, but those who spread the message of peace. She asserted that the presidency of G20 nations is a unique opportunity to model the truth of the world as one family before the world and hoped for change in the world's outlook under the leadership of PM Modi. C20 India Sherpa Ambassador Vijay Nambiar, former Indian ambassador, spoke to DD India correspondent Shyama Mishra in Nagpur, and he mentioned that the world faces three major challenges, which are climate change, rapid technological advancement impacting the way of living, and erosion of multilateralism. He also stressed that through Civil 20, there will be positive discussion that can be used as a template for future meetings and for finding solutions. Take a listen.
The first day of C20 Inception Conference is already done, and we have Ambassador Vijay Nambiar, who is the Sherpa of C20 with us. Sir, welcome to DD India. We did hear all the dignitaries, speaking about various issues that has to be highlighted of all the world's people. What, in your mind, are the present challenges, the major challenges that the world faces today?
Well, I think the challenges that the world faces are huge. One is the basic challenge, which is existential, of climate change. Then there is the questions of debt food, fertilizer, fuel, which is also a challenge which particularly affects the developing countries. But now it is, in fact, it's affecting all countries. And third, of course, is the main challenge of the polarization among the nations, particularly covering the most powerful nations, and how that is going to affect the future of multilateralism. These are basically the three challenges. But then, of course, if you go into detail, you go into the challenges which the C20 makes it its agenda. That is, the challenges of the questions of gender inequality, disabilities, the questions of resilience, building civic space. These are the kind of challenges, holistic health. These are the specific challenges which the C20 will be discussing in the course of the next 2 days in terms of the working group analyses.
So since this is an inception conference, how will this help setting the tone for further meetings to come? And also we heard Vanessa Buddha telling that Indian society is primarily the one of autonomous society, where individuals and the societies have been coming in, at forth for doing the good for the society. How will India show the way to the world?
Well, society in general, I think Indian society is, in a sense, has been working on traditional lines in terms of what are the role of society, has always been autonomous and has been transcending government. It is not that something that is in conflict or competition with government. It works in order to show the mirror to government of the various problems and at the same time show the various possibilities, initiatives, innovations which society has already worked out or which intends to work out. Indian society has always worked in a sense beyond government. I think it has always had an autonomous role which it's played. But as I said, it has not been looking upon issues, problems, even conflicts in a manner which is in competition with government, but in a manner which reaches out in an inclusive manner. I think that has been the best. Obviously, there have been departures in terms of actual practices. All civil societies, there are good and bad examples that happen. But the larger message which civil society in India has been given is one of inclusion, which is one of looking at responsibilities, duties, and not just right, not just an emphasis on rights.
So lastly, we also have the Troika members. How will this particular meeting or the deliberations benefit from a previous presidency also and the following one?
You know, the interesting thing about C20 India, as it has in a sense followed very strongly on what our Prime Minister said when India assumed the presidency of G20, that is, there has to be a Jan Bhagidari. And it is that Jan Bhagidari which is most, in a sense, well illustrated in the activities of C20. The Prime Minister has also said that India's presidency of the C20 offers an opportunity for India to, in a sense, showcase some of the achievements which we have done, not just in soft terms, but also in terms of infrastructure, what the last few years has meant in terms of how we have, in a sense, flourished, brought out the best, as it were, in what civil society and public society can provide, what the government can provide in terms of provision of national public goods, and also building out towards global public goods. And I think that has helped to find direction and build direction in terms of civil society's activities. Now, our civil society's activities, in terms of the themes we have used, it is both the, let's say, on the one hand, the traditional themes which have come from successive G20 and C20 summits, like, as I said, about this holistic health, there is education, there is gender empowerment, there is climate, resilience, etc., as well as new items like traditional crafts, livelihoods, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam ideas, then things like human rights as human values. It's a it's a continuation, but with a slight difference, which shows the Indian sort of contribution which we like to make. So there is, in fact, while traditionally we have followed the standard principles of earlier C20s, which are identified as the Osaka principles, we followed that, but we are also trying new innovation and improvised. I think that's a something specific to our chairmanship this time, and how the C20 has also responded.
So that was Ambassador Vijay Nambiar, who has beautifully explained how this Civil 20 would be working, and going ahead, the working or the discussions over here at the Inception Conference can be used as template, as standard for future meetings to come. With camera person Vishnu Gotafode, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Nagpur, Maharashtra.
Vanessa Buddha, Vice Chairman of Rambhau Mahalgi Probidhini and also the patron of Civil 20 India Secretariat, said that the objective of the event should be to empower societies for doing good voluntarily and not be dependent on governments alone. He added that India, through its various initiatives, including the International Year of Millets and Yoga, has always been part of giving solutions to the world. Listen in.
The two-day Civil 20 or the C20 is currently on at Nagpur in Maharashtra, and we have Vanessa Buddha, the Vice Chairman of Rambhau Malgi Prabodhini and patron of Civil 20. Sir, thank you for joining DD India. C20, as we all know, that the civil society organizations are coming together and they are working for the concerning problems and for highlighting the problems and issues of people. Here there's a diverse lot of speakers. What do you have to say about this particular Civil 20?
See, basically India has always been a part of the solutions and not part of the problems globally. Civil society, which also underscores the autonomy of the society, that we will not remain entirely on the government. People themselves also can do a lot many things. That has been the fundamental thinking in India, and therefore this would be the message of this C20, wherein participation from all the G20 countries is happening, and then whatever has happened earlier is there at the background, and for the future in the context of India being the president of C20.
When we are talking about vibrant set of deliberations, we also have a lot of speakers in various sessions who are belonging to the spiritual background. So that said, spiritual background, it doesn't itself mean that they are only into that. They are also doing a lot for the society. And as you've already mentioned, that India is a part of the solution giver. How over here these bodies, institutions can come together and show the way to the world for solutions?
Well, that is how, I mean, for example, let's take the International Year of the Millet. That is India's solution for every kind of food-related issues, right from hunger to food crisis to crisis faced by several of our farmer community, for that matter. So likewise, or yoga, that is India's solution for the health-related and lifestyle-related issues. So likewise, as I said, India has been a part of solutions, and through our very strong interventions like the establishment of the International Day of Yoga, or for that matter the International Year of Millet, we have been providing solutions to the humanity, and I'm sure this particular conclave will also come out with some specific solutions.
That this particular Civil 20 will encourage people to come forward and do their bit, because India has always believed in voluntary work, in Shramdan, and also becoming Atmanirbhar. Shama Mishra, DD News, Nagpur, Mumbai.
Sue Sherpa of C20 India, Sudesh Singh, while speaking to DD India, said that there is a need to think about conflict avoidance rather than finding the solution later or conflict resolution. He added that the world should think on how conflicts can be avoided, and for that, involvement of civil society is crucial. Listen in.
G20 or the Civil 20 has started in Nagpur in Maharashtra, the tiger capital of India, and we have Dr. Sudesh Singh, the Sue Sherpa of C20. Dr. Sudesh, welcome to DD India. We'll ask the first question. Throughout with the various engagement groups that we have been seeing, Civil 20s, this is the Inception Conference. What's the theme going to be like? And we also know for the fact that there are 14 working groups. So what are the sessions? What will be the topics that would be covered throughout these 2 days?
So Civil 20 is one of the official engagement group of G20, where civil society organizations they come up with their own perspective of different issues, which are being also discussed in ministerial groups and other way. So we will discuss about 14 topics. We have our 14 priority areas ranging from health, human rights, sustainable development, gender, and to give an Indian perspective to that, we have also taken the issue of Seva and Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
We also know that when we are talking about civil society organizations, so they are not bound by the legal or the political way of working. They work on their own. Even sometimes NGOs working is also seen as the civil societies working. So over here, when we are gathering the entire world together for civil societies organizations and the work that they are doing, what could be the major concerns, the primary concerns that y'all would be putting up on the platform?
Civil society talks about non-state, non-business perspective of each and every issue, whether it's human rights or sustainable development or education or health. So civil society organizations, while moving around different areas, means moving in villages, tier 3 cities, tier 2 cities, having academic discussions, they are everywhere. So they come up with their own perspective that this is our non-state, non-business perspective of any issue, and the G20 leaders should listen to them.
So the speakers in this Civil 20, it's like a diverse lot. Amma, she's the chair of the C20. So a lot of, a big section of society comes along with Amma, and at the same time, Civil 20's works would also be highlighted. So what would you say about this diverse lot?
Yes, actually, India in itself is based on idea of autonomous society. India is a society-centric idea. So no better place could be there to discuss civil society, a place like India. Since thousands of years, India remained and flourished and thrived because of its strength of society. So when we talk about civil society, we will definitely going to take Indian perspective, and like spiritual leaders, civil society organization, it's not just about philanthropy or advocacy. So it's more than that. This is what we are going to tell the world, that we are coming up with the idea of civil society 2.0. Like take the idea of civil conflict resolution. But we are talking about conflict avoidance, that if there would be no conflict, then you are not going to just resolve it. So we want to discuss idea of conflict avoidance, we want to discuss idea of Seva, we want to discuss idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
That was Dr. Sudesh, who was explaining about the various working groups, how will they be working throughout various sessions that will be conducted on the day 2 and on day 1 and day 2 of Civil 20, and also the foreign delegates will have a unique taste of India's culture and cuisine. With camera person Vishnu Gotafore, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Nagpur, Maharashtra.
Union Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia addressed the Global Conference on Digital Health under India's G20 presidency organized by WHO Southeast Asia region in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and the Government of India. The conference was on the theme Taking Universal Health Coverage to the Last Citizen. During the conference, Mandavia said since digital solutions hold the capacity to revolutionize healthcare delivery systems, India aims to launch a global initiative on digital health as an institutional framework, and the framework will aim to converge global efforts for digital health and scale up digital solutions with the use of cutting-edge technologies. He called for moving from silos to systems with collaboration of all countries for enhanced coverage and quality of healthcare services. He added India made Koban, E-Sanjeevani and Arogya Setu available as digital public goods, exemplifying its commitment to global health and our role in driving equitable access to critical health solutions. Reiterating India's commitment towards universal health coverage, the minister cited digital interventions that have become the foundations of many crucial health programs such as reproductive child health care, Nikshay, tuberculosis control program, integrated disease surveillance system, hospital information system, among many others. He emphasized that implementation of digital technology has forever changed the dynamics of healthcare delivery, citing the examples of E-Sanjeevani, a telecommunication platform which has crossed 100 million teleconsultations. He also mentioned the vaccine management drive achieving the administration of more than 2.2 billion doses. PM Arogya Yojana has provided health insurance to 500 million citizens free of cost in a cashless and paperless manner. He mentioned all those initiatives. He also spoke on how India is building consensus on promotion of digital public goods as a key enabler in achieving universal health coverage targets through customization and democratization of technologies. He explained that India, under its G20 presidency, has prioritized digital health as a specific priority in its health working group called Digital health innovation and solutions to aid universal health care and improve healthcare service delivery. There is still a long way to go to achieve sustainable and scalable outcomes, he said, even though governments around the world are already making significant investments to leverage technology successfully to improve health outcomes. Right, so that was what transpired at the conference which was addressed by Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia. Dr. Poonam Khetrapal Singh, Regional Director with the WHO CRO, applauded India's eSanjeevani digital health solutions, which helped more than 100 million teleconsultations. Listen in. Right, she also said that digital health solutions ensure democratization of health services and innovations with specific focus on low and middle income countries, and suggested that there should be establishment of digital health infrastructure. There should be building on institutional platform and citizen-driven digital health ecosystem. At the same time, Professor Alain Labrique, Director of Digital Health and Innovation with WHO, focused on the need of people-centered digital solution, taking care of equity and inclusion for marginalized community and the digital divide. Global leaders, health development partners, health policy makers, digital health innovators, influencers, academia and other stakeholders from around the world were also present at the conference. The Sri Krishna College of Engineering and Technology in Coimbatore city of southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu organized the G20 Young Ambassador Summit 2023 today on the theme Fueling the Future of Global Youth. The Governor of Tamil Nadu, R.N. Ravi, was the chief guest. He highlighted the need for a holistic approach to meet the diverse needs and aspirations of the youth. Two-day Labour 20 inception meeting concluded in Amritsar today. The meeting discussed key sustainable livelihood and employment subjects such as universalization of social security, international migration of labour, skill training and skill upgradation under India's G20 presidency. On the second day today, there were sessions on sharing country experiences on wages and a panel discussion on women and future of work. On the first day, there were panel discussions on a changing world of work, new employment opportunities in G20 countries and promoting sustainable decent work. Earlier on day one, Bhupendra Yadav, Union Minister of Labour and Employment, addressed the delegates virtually at the Labour 20 inception meeting.
G20 under the aegis of G20 choose very concrete and relevant themes such as universal social security, probability of social security fund, increasing women's participation in labour force and future of work. I am sure that all the trade unions across G20 countries will come out with actionable outcomes. Over the years, the G20 and F20 meeting have attempted to address the issue of labour market challenges through a variety of policy initiatives that have been widely agreed upon. We need to collectively ensure that our workers were equipped with the skills and knowledge necessary to thrive in this dynamic environment. Universal social security and its portability across the world is an important issue that we must focus on.
And with that, we come to the close of this edition of India at G20. Thanks for watching.
कब तक लंबी लाइनों में उम्र बिताइएगा? डिजिटल पेमेंट अपनाइए, चुटकी में हल पाइए। पुराने तरीके कब तक अपनाइएगा? डिजिटल पेमेंट बहुत आसान है, देखिए चुटकी में पेमेंट चुका। बटवा